And we are back. And now we are going to something super new. You will see. But all the details you will get from Marcin Słowikowski, a Larp designer. And you may know him from many different Larps, but one of them was The Witcher. But now, no witching stuff. Now it's a beautiful and white bride before you. But what is it about? You will get to know just in a moment. Bravo for Słowik.
Thank you, Patty. So first of all, there should be Irit Kraus standing here in that spot in that place, but she unfortunately couldn't make it with her awesome tips and tricks how to work with your scenographers. So for the last minute change, I was asked for the people to present something that I actually came up with during LTT project this week. And I'm really interested how you would like it. Bridal Design, Marcin Słowikowski. I was coming up with any tips and tricks on how to design and communicate your designs efficiently and how to sell your designs to people so they would like to come and join your games. So that was the basic idea. And one of those tips and tricks connected to the other and then to the other and then to the other. And for those four things, I decided to, as every person connected to marketing does, is hype them with nice phrase as bridal design. Is anybody here married? But I'm asking especially, did you have a wedding? Oh, maybe that should be the question. So what people who go to wedding hear from others? Yeah, but this is day of your wedding. This is this moment, and everybody encouraging you is telling you, you look beautiful, and what else? Or maybe you haven't heard that. This will be the best and the happiest day of your life. And actually, this is very sad because, like, the day after you are like, shit, I've fucked up, and right now no day will be better than what happened yesterday. But the idea is, all of the people are trying to make you feel good about it, and they are trying to pump you up, and they are setting some expectations. And this is what actually was the thing I thought of, how you can use the phrase that freshly married couples are hearing, or brides and grooms are hearing all over the world, how to make the best designs of your life. I believe each design will be better and better because in this area, well, we can try more than once, and it's not expected of us in the bridal area, since we should have, like, the first wedding should be perfect and last one, of course. But in case of designing and in case of communicating our designs, we can grow better and better. So why can't we acknowledge this, that the next design we will create will be the best design for that moment. And the next one will be even better, and the next one will be even better. And probably most of you know that there is this tradition on how to make weddings the best day of their lives. It actually comes from Victorian England, that there were four, we'll get to this at the end, four things necessary for a bride for her wedding to be the best day of her life. First, she needed something old. How we can translate that into LARPs and communicating our LARPs. So something old is something that everybody knows, that everybody is familiar with. And it helps a lot on the design process and on communication. Since when you will be telling people, this will be the LARP set in the Witcher world or Harry Potter setting, you don't need to explain much because this is something people are familiar with. And I don't know if you heard about it, but probably most of the people like what they already know. That's why we want to rewatch some old movies, or we are reading good books for the second, third, and sometimes more times. That's why we are getting fond of the memories from our past. And sometimes we would like to go back in time to those moments we cherish. So something old in the design and in communicating design would be something people are familiar with, something they like, something that brings good memories and sets good mood. Then, something new. Because if we already established that we have something as basic as everybody knows and likes it, we need to add wow factor. Something that was unexpected, something that wasn't done before, something that maybe don't go well with our something old, but it will give it a value. And in that case, this will be something that will give a creative boost to your design, because all the creative parts start the moment when we are trying to connect things that aren't connected for the first time when we think about it. So for example, how we can, I don't know, merge Harry Potter style and war drama, or how we can create cooking contest and political negotiation, how we can connect, I don't know, penguins and ballerinas. And some of the people who work in creative processes and creative brands, they are asking themselves those questions for the creative process to boost. Because when we are not thinking about the obvious connections, we are creating something that is that has more value. So if we are correlating something old with something new, the more value will come, because 1 + 1 will be more than 2 in that case. The third thing that is needed for a bride to have the best day in her life is something borrowed. We don't need to create new stuff every time. Sometimes it's good to borrow stuff from others. So we can look around and check if there is something that we like and something that we can incorporate into our designs. And it can be as simple as, for example, we know this awesome LARP mechanic that somebody was using for the purpose of their LARP, and we can try incorporate that into our design. We don't need to come out with a new one if that one will be working properly for our aim. We can also look for something to borrow, not only among other LARPs and designs, but also from other media, for example, from history, from real life, and looking for something unexpected and something that was already good in other media can be also transferred to LARP. One thing to say about it, it's really hard to adapt between media. So we can't, most of the times we can't take the whole thing and put it into our LARP. So we need to think how to like sculpt it and shaped it into LARP form, because most of the media don't have this narrative that needs to work for a lot of people. Most of the time we have only one leading role, and we cannot have that in LARPs, that there will be a main role and others will be secondary or episodic role in the LARP. So something old, something we love, we know, something that is familiar, something new, so something creative, something unexpected, a wow factor, something borrowed, so something outside of LARP or outside of our design, but in LARP design that will fit perfectly into that mix. And the fourth, something blue. So something that is appealing, something that creates emotion, something that looks nice, something that is fluffy, something that will draw people into your design, into your game. Sometimes it might be used as this mean to lure people in. Sometimes it can be used as this cherry on top of the design. Something that will be somehow getting it all together in the mixing pot. So I believe those four things, if you will use them as your creative tool to think about your designs or communication of your designs, might help you to go step by step and check if you have those features, and maybe you can add them to your design. But as every tool, you don't need to set on it. So you don't need to think, oh, I don't have something blue in my design. I don't have something that is nice, appealing, and emotional. So don't push it, as in each design, every part needs to be set there and fit perfectly with other parts. So that was something I came up with to tell the people how we can think of communicating our design, of selling our ideas, of starting maybe a new design. And afterwards, when I was researching before presenting here, I've learned that actually this rhyme or this short poem is does not end here. Because in the original Victorian ones was always "and a sixpence in her shoe." So they were putting this coin, Victorian sixpence coin, into a shoe of a bride for prosperity, for good luck, for money in their lives. And I think it also fits perfectly, because sometimes it's also very important that this spark of luck will help you spread the news. When you have the right moment, when you have the right people you will be sharing your idea and your design with, and if you have like the planets align, that can also be helpful. So this one, I would say, is this unexpected moment, something that makes it unique, something that makes it work more efficiently, let's say, that the four of them would do. This is very short approach of thinking about designing and thinking about something that might lure might interest your players, your participants. I hope if you think about it, you can also check if maybe in the games you've played there were those elements used. Maybe you can also think on how your previous designs, not only Larp designs, were influenced, or was it something old, something new, something borrowed and something blue in them? And maybe, if not, you could like analyze if the missing part would add the value to the design itself. So if you will be thinking about designing, if you will be marketing your ideas and marketing your LARPs, I hope this little tool will help you communicating them to others. Thank you.
Stay, because we still have time, and this is a unique occasion that you can ask Słowik any question.
I'm not married, so. No, it was the info to like set the expectation right for the questions.
How many games you designed using this process?
Oh my God, I've came up with the idea like 4 days ago, so none right now.
So it's untested.
But I see a lot of those things in previous designs I was involved in. And also I feel like we have a lot of games that I've played will match with that ideas. For example, why a College of Wizardry was so popular. I was asking myself this question. Like Harry Potter setting gave it a lot of spin internationally, a lot of media recognition international. Some designs that were used there, like for example, very basic character sheets, I don't know if you can call that, and creating relationships between characters by players on Facebook before the game even started was something new for that idea. In Poland, we haven't had something like that before, and it glued people to their characters because it were their characters, so they could play them for like, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 maybe more games as the same characters. They had something blue. They had a castle. That was the most appealing thing. The pictures and the movie they created, they got the movie crew from, I believe, United States to prepare the visuals for the next games, so people will know how picturesque, how magical the experience was. And for something borrowed, well, I don't think I need to explain that. So I believe, yes, if you are thinking of those, for example, in Witcher School, I think this new factor, of course, old doesn't need explanation. The new factor was they were creating LARP series. So we were developing your character through 6 episodes. You were growing more and more attached, and the story was growing throughout the whole series. That was something that wasn't done before in that matter. We had in Poland games that were played only once, or a game that didn't have an end, like you could play each month, but there was no tension and story arc written in the game, in the plot itself. So that was this moment. And something borrowed, people who created Witcher School were part of the crew on College of Wizardry. So they like borrow a lot of the design into Witcher School, and they even use the school, so the same system of organizing the day of players. So they could have lessons, They could have their teachers responsible for their groups as beforehand it was in houses. So I see a lot of patterns in different designs there, if that is answer to your question.
We still have time. You still have a chance to have a question.
I've never worn shoes like that, but I imagine that a sixpence coin is a bit uncomfortable. Not that uncomfortable to spoil the whole wedding, but still it's a little like snitch. Did you mean by this metaphor that there should be some little uncomfortable detail in the for the players, so they actually buy it better and like it better?
I don't know if something uncomfortable should be there, but I believe that if you are not comfortable, like if you are stepping out of your comfort zone, you will have more fun. Like retrospectively, you will assess that experience as a better experience. So that might add, of course, but that was not the thing I was thinking here. But why not? We can use it like that. Yeah, that was something I had in mind, that you have perfect design and everything is like spot on, but for some reason it doesn't work. I think my perfect LARP design that I created for Złote Maski contest in Poznań was ditched by all of the jury because, as they said, well, this year the games weren't as good as last year, so my design that at that moment for me was the best, and everything for N, so Mikołaj Wicher and Aleksander Tukaj design, that I also think is awesome, and if you haven't played that game, I strongly advise you to play it. Both of them were ditched. They were acclaimed later on when people played them, but for some reason we didn't have luck because previously the games were better. So this is what I meant.
There was another question there.
It's more of a comment actually, because this is, in my opinion, more of a communication tool than a design tool. And also this is in a sense pitching your idea to your potential players. We have a saying in my line of work, which is similar to this, that if you're going into a presentation and you feel absolutely comfortable that you will be approved, you're not pitching the right idea, because the right idea will always make you a bit uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. You will not know whether people will buy it, and this is exactly the reason it's a good idea. So the sixpence thing should, in my opinion, be part of your next presentation on the subject.
Okay, we can discuss it later on in the comfy room, and maybe something will emerge.
Did you know what is the Polish tradition instead
I
of
thought that was the
sixpence?
Polish tradition.
No, they are 100. There are no sixpences. They are putting 100 zloty paper in each of the shoes.
Oh yeah, but still they are
Yes,
putting the
yes,
the
it
money
is-
in their shoes. Yeah.
It is mostly on not city area, but in the smaller cities, and it is like a good luck. But what I want to say, and you need money for your LARP. You need to have it on budget.
Well, yeah, money are good for anything you do. It's easier with money than without it.
And with this beautiful statement that, yes, of course, we need it, we finish the session, and thank you very much.
Thank you.